Today, drama means witchcraft, drama means multi-dimensional characters, and drama means I don't think that orifice should be spewing black liquid.
Hi, welcome to DramaMeans. Today we're talking about the 2025 French series, Nero the Assassin.
And first, a little bit of a summary. In 16th century France, a hitman for a rich family learns that the daughter he never knew he had is the centerpiece of a prophecy he's never heard of and forces him on a hero's journey he never wanted to take. So yeah, French drama. That's a first for DramaMeans. We're going to France.
Yeah.
And we're going period.
Yeah.
And we're going supernatural.
You know, I actually kind of was half watching at the beginning because it was definitely like a drama that Ryan had started first.
It's not your type of drama. I mean, it's the closest thing to a Western that you will watch. Like, this is so close to a Western. I think that's why you were like, I don't want to watch this.
I hate Westerns so much.
And hates dry climates. I think that's ultimately what we've decided, is that anytime Mel's like, I hate Westerns, I'm like, you don't like it because they always take place in like dry climates and it makes your like mouth dry and you need a drink. Like, you want something on the ocean.
It's really a weird thing that I have, and I don't know where it stems from, but it literally is, if they're in the desert, I kind of just don't like it.
Well, there's an aesthetic to it that's not exactly pleasing. You think of like Mad Max, you think of Westerns, the spaghetti Westerns especially, and then this takes place during a drought. So it's very brown. It's very harsh on the senses.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting because even like some of the Chinese dramas, they take place like, I don't know, in the desert, and like Ultimate Note, where they like kind of have to wander through the desert. Like, I hate those parts. And then there's like, what other drama was that they got lost in the desert? And I was like, ugh, I hate this. And I was just like, there's something.
It was that one that, but it was only for like half an episode, right?
Yeah, it wasn't like
the Beijing Ting one.
The Beijing Ting. Oh, Destin, where
they got lost in the desert for like half an episode.
Yeah, and I hated that part too. It wasn't even like real desert. It was like,
no, it was so fake.
It was on set desert. But the minute like there's something with me and sand, I don't like.
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a hard sell. And this is also one of those, it's on Netflix, and it's that thumbnail that you kind of look at and go, oh, there's a new show out. And then you click on it and you're like, oh, it's a French show. And I don't like this bait and switch Netflix does, where you're not really sure what thumbnail you're looking at or what kind of country of origin you're looking at. And I think they're trying to supplement the non-existent American content and go, wow, you can watch this French show. And so I'm normally turned off by that idea. Like, if it's going to be an international show, like, give it to me as an international show. Don't try to cover it up with English dubbing in the trailer. And then I start watching, oh, it's a French show. Like, don't trick me.
That's not actually my problem usually with Netflix, is that Netflix just has these random thumbnails up, right? And I feel like that's kind of what you're talking about, but like, they don't even use like the two leads.
Well, yeah, but they have several thumbnails, and their thumbnail always changes because they're trying to trick you to click it again.
Yeah.
So even the shows you've already watched, you see a thumbnail and go, oh, is that a new season? Is that a new show? You click on it and go, oh, no, that's the show I watched already. But they've changed the thumbnail because the algorithm is trying to like harvest every click it can click. And I will say, pleasantly surprised by the quality. I don't have a lot of faith in a lot of Netflix productions. I think they throw a lot of money at problems, and then they kind of let story and character fall by the wayside. They take money and actors and then say, go make something. And sometimes you're like, oh, I wish you wouldn't have.
Yeah. But they also like just buy, other countries' productions that like they didn't really have a hand or a say into like the production of it. They're just like buying content to put on their platform.
Yeah, because they're now a global platform now. Like, Netflix is everywhere. So they're looking, they have a Netflix headquarter, people in France looking for sourcing material and co-productions and stuff like that. So again, the quality from Netflix, to me, Netflix has a branding problem where you're never sure. Like, if you watch an HBO show, you kind of know what you're going to get. If you watch an NBC show or a Fox show, you kind of know what you're going to get. And Netflix, you could be getting literally anything. And it's a little bit of a problem, but in this case, it kind of lucked us into watching the show. And I think the first thing I want to talk about is just character.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised because when we first started the show, the characters didn't feel very likable, like none of them.
I don't think any of the characters are likable almost all the way to the end. Like, I think we like them because we've gone on the journey with them, but no one is a good guy. No one is a bad guy. Everyone is just very self-interested. I mean, yes, there are bad guys, but it feels like everyone is kind of out for their own self-interests, but they stay true to those self-interests the entire time.
Yeah. But also, like, I know when we first were watching it, you mentioned something about how, like, American shows wouldn't have the courage or, like, you know, the gall to film the show the way that Nero did.
Well, they weren't afraid to make him a dirtbag very early. And I think one of the things that I really miss in a lot of TV shows and movies these days is that first scene that really tells me who the character is. So many shows now are focused on, like, non-connected action that reels us in so that we have to watch the first 2 minutes. But it amounts to nothing. It's a foot chase through an alleyway. We don't know who we're watching. We don't know where this is. They come out, someone gets shot, and then it's 6 months earlier. And I'm like, I've just watched 2 minutes of your show and I have no idea what's going on. From the first moment of this, from the first 2 scenes, you know who Nero is as a person. And also they have voiceover, which helps. Also a trope. But from the very beginning, they go, this is the guy you're going to get.
Yeah, except for they also do the flash forward and then the flashback also.
They did, but they did it in a way that's very true to the character. It's not just nondescript action. It's a moment we see him and he's being hung by a rope. We have no idea how he's got there. And he looks up and he sees someone coming that he obviously doesn't want to see. And he's like, screw this, I'd rather be hung. That tells you a lot about a character rather than just a sort of, I'm running. Oh, someone shot me. Okay, who cares? So now he's made a character decision in the first minute and a half. And I was like, oh, I'm on board. I like this. I already want to watch more of this.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly when you're saying that American shows wouldn't have the guts to do things. I think a lot of stuff on the show they let stay in subtext. They didn't over-explain things. They let us try to keep up to them, which, again, I can't remember what we just talked about. That was like, oh, they trust the audience so much.
Kimjira.
Yeah, Kimjira. Like, they just trust us that we're going to be here with you and that we're not folding laundry and only half paying attention. And I think this show is really rewarding if you put the other devices down and you just watch the show. It feels like every plot piece, every character piece all has purpose. The way the characters come together, the way they're pulled apart, the decisions they make. And if you really, really, I mean, this is a great character study. If you want to get into writing and look at how characters should be written and how you stay true to your characters and how you care about all of them and what they do, no one's the dumb character. No one's the, like, stock, like, oh, I guess we need someone to make a boneheaded move now character. Like, everyone kind of has their own purpose and goal in themselves so that when they make a mistake or they do something dumb, it was because they were trying to do this other thing they really cared about. So everything's motivated, I guess. That's a long-winded way of me saying that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, of course, a lot of the characters do dumb things. Well, the daughter, for one.
Well, yeah, but again, she's in service of, like, I need to get out of here. I need to get away from this man who's saying that he's my dad. Like, there's moments in it where, yeah, she doesn't do the smartest thing, but she's doing it in service of trying to make her situation better, trying to accomplish something. It's just not being dumb for dumb's sake. And I think that's where I get really agitated when you have a character that seemingly should be okay, smart, and then suddenly they're just making decisions out of nowhere because, well, we need them to get into this pickle.
Yeah.
And I didn't see a lot of that in this show.
Yeah, I think as characters go, each character has their own character arc, which is like really satisfying. Whereas like Nero comes off as this kind of in it for himself and never really doing the right thing unless it benefits him. And in this case, because his life is on the line and he really has to, he has to save or like get this daughter away from the witch in order for him to survive.
Well, yeah, he literally has a noose around his neck. I mean, or the necklace that can choke him. So like he has no choice but to go on this mission. Like, he doesn't want to help her. He has got no attachment. He even says, "And I don't care. You can have her. Just let me go." It's like, that's not how it works.
Yeah. So, and then like the princess, and like you really see her grow.
Yeah, I think she might be the best character.
I feel like she is the best character. I agree with that.
Also, as an actor, the dirtier they made her, the more messed up they made her, the prettier she got. I don't know what magic that is, but I was like, she keeps getting prettier. They've chopped off her hair. They've made her dirty. They've tried to do everything to make her like beat up. And I'm like, she just keeps getting more attractive.
Yeah, but the thing is that really matches like her likability in general in her, like with her character. So it matches her character arc in terms of like, she was super put together and she was the princess, but she was very like spoiled and didn't understand like the ways of the world and just like like a little snooty.
But she also didn't understand like the ugly side of the world that allowed her to live like a princess. You know, she never saw that side of like, well, yeah, you get to be in your castle, but like this is what the real world, and these people have to go through this to make your life that good.
Yeah. So when she's like all put together, she actually seemed the most unattractive.
Mm-hmm.
So that like it matches like her, you know, her personality of like how the audience sees her, and like her personality is not that attractive. And as she's like learning and like getting more like empathy towards other people and understanding that the world, there's so much to the world that's outside of her comfort zone, then she starts getting prettier and she's like more humanistic towards other people. And then like, and it's just like, it really matches, like kudos to like makeup and wardrobe and all that stuff to like, to even take that into consideration.
Yeah. I mean, speaking on that a little bit, it's a little off topic, but I thought the texture of the show was really good. Like a lot of times we talk about this all the time, the period dramas, they don't make anyone dirty enough, you know, because they're trying to be pretty and they're beautiful people in soap opera and romance. And this show didn't care about that. This show was like, we're going to make you dirty and grimy and gross, and you're going to spit up black liquid and you're going to bleed from your eyeballs. And like, we're going to give you bruises and cuts. And they just wanted all that texture because it was a gross world they're living in.
Yeah. And man, is this show gross. Like I'm fine with it. And it didn't really gross me out that much. Oh, like just that one last scene, like where he throws up on her.
But also the worms, like the eating the worms, because being a witch is real gross, by the way. If anyone out there is like wishing that they were a witch, real gross business. You got to eat worms and cut your hands apart, and you missing eyes.
Yeah. Anyway, but it is like that really like nitty gritty, but it was just kind of fun to watch. And it had like, it was really good at balancing like the humor parts and like the character aspect of things. And then, you know, getting into the plot and then showing you like the evils. And then it's just funny because they show like, oh, these people are supposed to be like the church, and they're such like, you know, everyone like reveres them. And then there's other side, and literally they're the same.
Yeah. It's sort of like the two religions fighting each other are the same bad guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's just about control. It's two sides of the same coin trying to do what? Control the population, control the resources. And it's all for spreading their power. And so it's this back alley deal. I think that's done really well. And I think one thing that you said interesting to me is he doesn't believe in anything. At the beginning of this, he kind of starts to believe in the bond between him and the daughter, and even him and we can call her the princess, but Hortense, she's the count's daughter. She is, throughout her belief, is getting more into community and kingdom and realizing like, oh, I can be a voice for the people. And he still at the end has no interest in her interests, which I find interesting to me, because you're like, well, no, you're a good guy. You should care about the people. And he's like, no, I care about my people. My daughter, I care about you. Everyone else can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
And he stays true to that same selfish character he's always been. And so again, call it a character study, because he never just does a 180 and like learns some corny lesson where now he's just going to be a stand-up guy. Like at the end, he's like, all right, let's fight for justice. And it's a lie.
Yeah. So like for the longest time, I've mentioned that I don't really believe in anti-heroes.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably the closest anti-hero that I actually like and feel like he's an anti-hero.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. I thought the same thing as far as, should we talk about anti-heroes? Because I hate the idea of anti-hero. Like, to me, you're either rooting for someone to do the right thing or they do the wrong thing. Like when push comes to shove, heroes do the right thing, villains do the wrong thing. He does straddle the line of anti-hero a little bit. And I would love to take your temperature of like, is he a hero or is he a villain? If you had to draw the line, and you can, and in my world, anti-heroes don't exist.
He for sure is the hero, but his heroing is such like his motivation is such a selfish thing.
Yeah, that's where he's so close to this, and like I don't believe in anti-heroes. They don't exist. I'm an atheist anti-heroist, whatever you want to say. He's so close because I'm gonna take you on this circular logic.
Okay.
He's a hero because he fights for what he thinks is right. He fights for his daughter. He fights for Hortense. He fights for the truth in a certain way. So he's for sure the hero of his own story. But we always say a great villain is always the hero of their own story. It's just the perspective you watch the story at. So at the same breath, I could say he's still a villain because he cares nothing about the people. He cares nothing about the starvation and all the trouble and the soldiers dying. He doesn't care about any of them. He cares about his family. He cares about his people, which is a little villainy. But then at the end, he doesn't really do the right thing either. He tries to do the right thing vis-a-vis his story, but it's the wrong thing as far as it betrays his family.
Yeah.
So he's very close to an anti-hero. I still am not going to admit they exist, but he's real close.
Yeah, he's probably, in my opinion, out of so many anti-hero wannabe stories, he is by far the best anti-hero.
And I think, too, one thing that differentiates him from other characters that people call anti-heroes is we sometimes forgive characters for things that we should not forgive them for. Like, there are characters in Game of Thrones where you're like, oh, he's an anti-hero. You're like, no, he's a horrible, horrible human being. Just because he did one good thing in his life does not now make him a hero. He's still a horrible human being who did one good thing. But he's our character and we're following him, so we're on his side.
So there's protagonists.
Yeah, right.
And then there's a hero.
Well put. Yeah. Oh, look at film school coming out. Protagonist. You can start speaking in French.
I cannot pronounce any of these names to save my life. I've always thought that I've been pretty decent at learning languages, and then you put French in front of me and I am just dumbfounded.
You should try to say the guy who plays Rochemort's name. Louis de Lencquesaing.
Well, shouldn't it be Louis?
Louis de Lencquesaing. Like, you can't roll your R's.
Oh my God.
You can't, like, speak from the throat like the French do. Yeah, it's your kryptonite language. We found it.
I think so.
So I want to move on to a little bit of just structure, because I think maybe the most impressive part of the entire show is just the way that they put all of these chess pieces in play and then figure out how to just constantly weave them and pull them and pluck them and move them. And it's not quite as, like, what I would call death baity as Game of Thrones, where you're just like wondering who's going to die next. And, oh, they killed this character. It's so shocking. To me, it's smarter than that. It's, well, which character is going to come and save the day or ruin the day? And how is this character related to this character? And they just keep weaving them in surprising ways. Yeah.
And I love how, like, we always talk about setup and payoff, and everything that they set up, they pay off until, of course, the, big cliffhanger at the end. But that's meant to be a cliffhanger. So that's
the next setup, right?
Yeah.
That's the setup for the next season.
Exactly. But it's just, they're really good at, like, setting things up and, like, not forgetting about it, which a lot of shows we've watched will set stuff up and then totally forget they even brought it up, and they never pay it off. In this, they set up, they pay off, and it's so satisfying to watch.
And I think one of the things, too, they keep changing your perspective on everyone. Like, I don't think they ever necessarily do a 180 where the witch is bad. Oh, now the witch is good. She's very gray. Oh, Nero's, hitman, he's bad. Now he's just good. Like, no, he's very gray. Even to the point that the other witch, the hunter, the dude who's hunting Hortense, La Borgne, like, at the beginning, we're like, oh, he's the one guy that she's afraid of. Go get her. And then you're like, no, kill him. And you're like, wait, where did they pulled a 180 on us, and they kept doing this shifting thing with the characters. So you're off balance in a fun way.
Yeah. But it is like riding a roller coaster, but, like, not knowing where it's going to turn. So it's like blindly riding a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Which is really fun, actually.
It's like Space Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
That one's in the dark.
That one is in the dark.
So you heard it here first. Nero the Assassin is the Space Mountain of French period supernatural dramas. That is a opinion you will get nowhere else on the entire internet. No, but I think it's very, I guess my thesis of watching this whole thing is that it's just very engaging. And I think if I saw someone online comparing it, they're calling it, the French Game of Thrones, which I think is incredibly lazy. The only thing that I would say is familiar between those two series is the fact that they do weave a lot of plot and a lot of characters all together the way that Game of Thrones kind of does, but that's just story plotting. Game of Thrones doesn't own story plotting. It's just done well. Yeah. And there's no dragons, guys. Just stop with the Game of Thrones. But I think this show does have a little bit for everyone. I think you are rooting for him. You're rooting for him and Hortense to, like, break through their differences a little bit and, like, come together. I don't think necessarily you, like, want romance, but you want their alliance. And that's the kind of romance of the show. And then with the daughter, like, you're rooting for her to survive this. And at one point you're rooting for the witch. And it's just, I love the layers.
This came out of nowhere for me, that the prince fell for the daughter. Because weirdly, I don't know why, but, there was, like, one of the knights from the town that they had gone to, and they had, like, they were hesitant to open like the doors,
Right.
the border to them. And then there's like this knight that was like, he was sitting at the table and you could tell he had words to say, but he wasn't going to. I thought for sure he was going to have a bigger role and he was going to be her love interest. And then the next thing you know, he dies.
Well, he had his bigger words to say. He ratted it out because he did like her.
Yeah.
And he like was like, no, I can't lie for these guys anymore. And kind of ratted them all out. So yeah, then he was done. So the last thing I want to talk about is I just watched a movie last night that did this. But there's a tendency when you put a lot of characters on the board like they do in this for it to get overcomplicated and confusing and just stupid. Like sometimes you need 6 bad guys and then the bad guys are all at cross purposes with each other. And then you end up with like either an act 3 in a movie or the last episode in a show where all the bad guys have to kill each other because you're just not sure who our good guys are even fighting anymore. This did such a great job of managing all the evil and all of the who you're supposed to hate, who you're supposed to love. It just did such a good job of managing each character. They don't try to do too much. They don't put too much weight behind anyone. They just let every character do their job. And it was so simple in the way it was organized, even though it is very complex because it is filled with a lot of different points of view and a lot of different characters.
You know, we always say that the entertainment industry is woke. And this definitely has a statement in, you know, current...
political climate.
Yeah, current political climate. I want to talk about the scene where the mom like has her baby.
Oh yes.
That is such a strong scene, and it's such like, I feel like it's such an eye-opener to the friar of like realizing like what real evil, like how brainwashed people can be.
Well, no, I think you're onto something because from his eyes, and this is why again why I love the show is that they give such big moments to these side characters and allow them all to have journey. He's looking at a witch he is supposed to condemn who just saved a life, and he's looking at a woman that is a devout follower of his religion who just killed her own baby, and he has to decide who's really evil here. Because this woman's going, you evil witch, and it's like, wait, but lady, you just murdered your own baby that wouldn't even have been born if it weren't for the witch's help. So what kind of perverted morality are we living in? And it is the first crack that the friar gets to look at and go, oh yeah, there's something wrong with what we're preaching. Like the product we're selling is a little damaged.
Yeah. So again, it has a lot of social commentary, you know, whatever your beliefs are. This is a very like, I feel like poignant moment. And it's such a strong scene. It's not even, I mean, it has a lot of meaning and it has a lot of impact, but honestly, it's not like, it doesn't matter that much in the whole scheme of the show.
No, it doesn't really affect the plot of Nero's story hardly at all. Yeah. Other than where it takes the friar's character, where it takes him once he gets back to the castle, or once he gets back to, you know, kind of his Vatican, if you will. And it is his big character turn in it. But I think that's good because I think it allows us to have these moments that aren't just so reliant on our main leads. Like I always was frustrated writing television where you give a secondary character something really cool to do because we don't give that character that much. And then the first thing you hear is, oh, we should give that to the main character. Oh, we should give that to the lead. And you're like, well, yeah, but that story isn't really consistent with our lead character. It's worked so much. No, that's too big of a moment to give to a side character. And I'm like, but those are the shows that we want to watch. The ones that have rich development for everyone that feel like, oh, I know that world because it's filled with so much real human emotion from every different level.
Yeah.
Not everyone's a scumbag like Nero. Like there are just different levels. Like I would say the friar is probably the most quote unquote innocent character in the whole thing. Like he is a true believer of a religion. He thinks he's doing good. He's running an orphanage. He's trying to protect this girl. He's really conflicted that they might actually have to take this girl to her death because this prophecy is bad. And so he feels conflicted the whole time and then is faced with this morality. Rightness. Just, here it is, bud. Make your choice.
Yeah. So it is just the depth of the characters. And it's so refreshing that all these characters are so vetted out, as Ryan had said. Like, we've watched a lot of shows where like side characters are just like a side note. They just have to like, they only exist to fill a room or be an obstacle. Every character has their own role to play. And I know that sounds like very redundant, but it's like they have their own responsibility is what I really mean.
Yeah. And I think they all play by their own rules. And when those rules are violated, then that's when they make their character turns. Like even to the point where the penitence guy, the like guy with the makeup, and like he had his own moral code. And at the end, the archbishop betrayed his moral code. And you're like, no, 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 you broke my rule. And so they stay so consistent. It's like once you give those characters the rules, you have to have a damn good reason why they break their rules. Otherwise, you're going against who these people are that you've created. Because we all do that. We all draw our lines morally or spiritually, wherever. We draw these lines, and that's what we think. And when someone cracks that, it's a little soul shattering, and it has to be a big moment.
Yeah.
You can't just weave back and forth over that line forever and be like, no, potato, potato. It's like, no, this is who you are. So obviously, I think we both really liked this show. There was one thing, and it's very nitpicky and the only reason I noticed it is that the rest of the show does so much so well. The show loses a little bit of momentum in the last episode and a half. Like once they have to take the prince gets injured and they have to take him and they're hiding kind of in those like favela type slums. It's like, it's been 6 weeks or something. And then the bad guys have basically taken over and they're all being hunted. And just that time break is kind of a momentum killer as far as we're so close to the end. And you've almost taken me back to like, this should be episode 1 of season 2. And I know our story for season 1 isn't over yet. That's why it isn't. But I'm a real big, I want the momentum to charge me to the end. I want you to get to this climax where everything went to shit. And then I want you to sprint to the end like never before and not let off the gas pedal until the moment you roll the credits. And so they let the air out of the balloon a little bit for me.
I know that when I was watching it, there were some scenes that really frustrated me. But now that I think about it, it's not anything that was so drastic that I was so hung up that I had to remember what those scenes were. My only thing is I feel like their relationship is so weird.
You talk about Nero and Hortense.
Yeah. It's such a like, I don't want them to have that weird sexual charge attraction thing that they have. Like it honestly kind of grosses me out.
Yeah, I can see that. I had a similar feeling.
Yeah.
More just because everyone was so dirty. Like, don't have sex. That's grody. You're in a tent. It's covered in dust. No one's had a bath in weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. And they don't think to have baths before. Yeah. This is weird. We don't need to talk about this.
We're going down a weird path, but I know what you mean. I think, well, obviously, at one point, he more or less sells her to the slavers to save his daughter's life.
Yeah.
And she thinks it's worse than that. She thinks she's being sold away so that he can just get that necklace off his neck. And so to him, again, he's doing the right thing vis-a-vis his daughter. And he's like, you'll be fine. These guys aren't going to do anything to you because they've given me their word, blah, blah, blah. But like at the same time, she's utterly betrayed. So they do have a very weird dynamic. I don't know how you go to romance ever again after that moment. Because they kind of go to like trust. And then he immediately breaks her trust. So it's going to be interesting. I think they are doing a season 2 of this.
I think I saw that they're doing a season 2. Or maybe there's even like some stills from it already.
Yeah, I can't remember if those were like just artist renderings of the announcement for season, but I think they are. But their relationship going forward is going to be real weird because she has been so utterly betrayed by him now over the course of season 1.
Were they on good terms by the end?
No, because he was like, okay, I'll help you break into the palace. And then he only did that to get the daughter and her away from everyone so that he could get them out of there. And so he was like, oh yeah, I'll help you. And at the last minute, they all realized, no, he sold them out to the bad guys just so that they wouldn't go through with the suicide mission. That was the whole thing. The daughter and him hate him at the end of season 1. Daughter and Hortense, I'm sorry. The daughter and Hortense hate him by the end because he said, screw the revolution, screw fighting for the little guy. I just want to get the two of you out of here. And they don't want to go willingly. So he feels like he has to trick them. And of course, it all gets unraveled. And so I think going into season 2, everyone hates that dude.
Well, I mean, he was basically stabbed at the end. So they don't even know if
well, he bonked on the head more than stabbed. Wasn't he stabbed?
No, he was stabbed.
I thought he got bonked. No. Either way, he's going to be in the show season 2.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
unless they're
literally
going to change the name.
Nero the assassin. But no, he got stabbed, and then she got stabbed.
Yeah, well, she stabbed herself, and then he got hit in the head because he was chasing her, and then they bonked her. Anyway, he'll be in the season 2, and everyone's going to hate him.
It was not. No, it was more serious than that because we thought he was going to be dead. No, he got stabbed. And then or his throat got slit or something.
No, not
and
that
then
bad.
and then she woke up from being dead and saw him. No, he was like laying on the floor dying. It was not just a bonk on the head. It was something way more serious than a bonk on the head.
I think you're thinking of earlier. Because I know he ends the series knocked out, and that masked figure takes the girl and like.
Yes.
But he ran to her when she cut herself open and fulfilled the prophecy. She fell off on the ground, and he was like, "No, my daughter!" And he ran over to her, and he was like, "My daughter!" And then someone went whack, and then he was laying on the ground, and they picked her unconscious body up and walked her away. You're thinking of earlier, after he did the whole time travel thing, and he was all screwed up. Either way, it doesn't matter. We all know how good your memory is when it comes to memory scenes. I don't know why you continue to argue with someone who has a working memory, but I'm also wrong a lot.
Your memory is also not good.
Defective is the word I use.
What is going on? How can we talk about dramas that we watch when neither of us have any memory?
Meticulous note-taking. That's how. Well, I think it's time to rate it. Let's just rate this thing. Get out. Let's do a dismount.
All right. I would say, I mean, it was really good. It deserves drinks on a pool deck, but like as good as it is, I don't know how much I actually like really liked it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I don't think this is a big rewatcher.
Yeah. So I feel like it's more of an in the buffet line.
Yeah, I think for me, if I would have had to guess, I would have said I would think this is drinks on a pool deck. You would say in the buffet line. For me, I don't really like to go back and rewatch entire series, and you really enjoy that. This is not the type of show you go and rewatch. This is a show you kind of watch once, enjoy it, and then you maybe watch the next season and enjoy it. This is not like, oh my gosh, I watched episode 2 again last night. Like, that's not what this is.
Yeah.
So for you, like, that's what you enjoy. I don't really care about that. I just want to watch it once, and then we talk about it, and then we never speak of it again. That's how I like my dramas.
Yeah. Well, by the way, I'm like rewatching Tempo.
Yes. Every episode.
For like the millionth time.
At least it's not Gel Boys again.
Gel Boys, like I've watched it several times, but like it's a little heavier, you know? And there's just like there's certain scenes that I like but it's usually the heavy scenes because I just enjoy watching the acting. But with Tempo, like I can get giddy for it all over again. And I can watch every single episode, every single scene again.
Well, let's just be honest. You think William and Esther are really cute, so that's why.
Okay.
You think they're the cutest couple on the internet as well.
Okay, so this is literally like...
Now we are so far into talking about something else that's not this episode. But okay, go ahead.
Here's the tea. So there's this viral TikTok challenge, right? And like all the couples have been doing it. And it's literally like one person's dancing in front and another person's behind them. And then like the hands come up and they like kind of smooth up their body.
Okay.
Right? And then they switch positions and then the other person in the back smooths up whoever's in front's body, right?
Okay.
So there's several of these, you know, BL couples that are doing it. And then someone online decided to put them all together, like on one, so like each individual square. Right? So you can see each individual square and compare them. And I was watching them and there were like only 2 couples that is like, oh yeah, they look like they're like a real ship, like they're actually dating. Whereas the other ones are very like kind of mild and they're just doing the challenge and it doesn't feel like they are dating. And so one of the couples is William and S. Uh-huh. So I'm just like they're so natural with each other and so like comfortable and they're not afraid of like, I don't know, getting real, I guess. So anyway, this is so off topic.
This is the furthest off topic we've ever been at the very end of the show. So also I never want to hear the term smooth up ever again. Because, hey, maybe come over here and smooth me up.
I made that up.
Hashtag smooth me up.
I said smooth up their bodies.
Smooth up their bodies. Okay, well, you know, one way that Gel Boys and Tempo and Nero the Assassin are all alike is that we've talked about them on our podcast. And that's about where the similarities end.
Well, yes.
So, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back next week with some more good stuff.
Yeah, and we will see you next week.